Now, if you guys know me, you know I don't usually do like rage gamer negative stuff on here. I come here to talk about stuff that I really love. And Activision messed with the one thing that I really love. They broke the straw that broke this camel's back. I mean, on top of all the other things they've been doing, from just like the controversies with their whole organization, to Warzone issues, to, of course, Diablo Immortal and the monetization there. But the newest news that hurt me the most personally is the Tony Hawk stuff. Have you guys seen this? This dropped yesterday on social media. It's the news essentially that there was going to be a Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remaster remake, similar to how they did 1 and 2. This is from streamer Andy THPS. According to Tony Hawk, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 plus 4 was going to be a thing. But unfortunately, because of everything that went down with Activision kind of absorbing Vicarious Visions, the developers, and then after that, it didn't work out and it fizzled out because Vicarious Visions nailed it so well. They figured it out. They cracked the code. As you guys probably know, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 was like my favorite thing ever. I've grown up with the series. I love the series, but that was a perfect celebration, a perfect remake, re-representation of those classic games with tight gameplay that gelled well, especially like with just how the mechanics were all implemented from the later games and how it all worked really well. I still play it all the time. It's the game that I never uninstall. I hop in and go for a run at least once a week. And I was really hoping more would eventually come from it because it seems like the reception was pretty positive and it did pretty well, but it's the whole Vicarious Visions thing. Vicarious Visions has been around for so long. They're actually a developer actually based in upstate New York, and they've worked on so many things from ports, different versions of games, tons of licensed games, all types of stuff under multiple umbrellas for so many years. Just like in gaming history, like their name is in there. Even if they've never done like absolute incredible historic things, like they were workers and they were down there. And like with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, like I keep saying, I thought they really got it perfect. If you had missed the news, January 2021, Vicarious Visions was moved by Activision Blizzard from a subsidiary of Activision to a subsidiary of Blizzard Entertainment, and essentially now they're just supporting other big old Activision Blizzard titles. So they ain't making Tony Hawk no more. And interestingly enough, in this interview, Tony Hawk did say that Activision was willing to hear from other developers. Apparently they went and they heard pitches from other developers, like what would you do with Tony Hawk? And according to him, they didn't like any of the pitches, so now it's shelved, which is very interesting. I wonder if the pitches were just actually genuinely not good and they are protective of the brand. Maybe they've learned their mistakes, but also maybe it just takes them a lot to get off their ass because, like, you know, they've never seemingly been too excited about making Tony Hawk games for the last few years anyway. But the pain I feel just makes me realize how sick I am of Activision and this type of stuff. Just the juggling of talented people, talented groups of people getting lost in the ether, especially hot off the heels of them making an incredible thing, an incredible product, a really satisfying game. As someone who's been playing since original Tony Hawk 1, I was so excited to see them potentially take on a 3 and 4 collection remake, because 3 and 4 are where like the remainder of the good mechanics, the good gameplay elements showed up, and they actually used a lot of that in the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake. So it really would have felt great. It had some incredible maps, just some really cool moments. The San Francisco map from 4 comes to mind. There's the Alcatraz map. There's the airport map from 3. Dude, I could go on and on. Like, there was so much potential for just more Tony Hawk greatness, especially after they had already figured out the gameplay flow, the modern design of it all with 1 and 2. It would have been nice to just get some more maps, more cool stuff. And then that eventually could have led to a new Tony Hawk Underground or something, whether it's a remake or a new version. I don't know, something. More skateboarding games. Look, I'm glad we're getting a new Skate. There's been stuff like Skate XL that's released in the past. I've talked about on this channel also that Devolver game, Skate Story, that has been revealed. That seems really promising. All that stuff is really cool, but there's something about the way Tony Hawk's Pro Skater plays. I am really biased because it's the one game I'm good at. It's the one game I've been competent in and can really hold my own. So of course, I just wanted to see this stuff really prosper. I'm not even like an esports guy or a competitive gaming guy, but I would have loved to have seen it really catch on in some sort of competitive scene. The mod community is great with Thug Pro on PC. That is absolutely incredible. And then there are Twitch streamers and content creators and people out there like Andy THPS, which is great, keeping that stuff alive. And it does seem like at this point, that's what we have. That's what's going to keep this alive. After 1 and 2, it was great, but sometimes with gaming and gaming history and preservation and stuff, we can't rely on the corporations. We do need stuff like Thug Pro, modded on PC, kept alive by the community. We need people yapping and loving and remembering this shit because they were really special and a very good footnote in gaming history. Also, just real quick on a tangent, gotta recommend 2 things. First is a documentary, Pretending I'm Superman from 2020, but also more recently, the HBO Max documentary, Until the Wheels Fall Off. It's just an incredible documentary about Tony Hawk's career. It's kind of like the Michael Jordan documentary, but for skating, and really covers a lot of skating history and excellent stuff beyond Tony Hawk, but also it does dive into the making of the games a little bit, and it's very interesting. So that's all I can really leave you with, other than me just recommending endlessly Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, but also Thug Pro. If you have a PC, if you're into the mod communities and stuff like that, highly recommend checking that out. And I just really hope that this isn't the last that I talk about this. Spawnwave sent me a really good meme earlier. It was like the Eric Andre meme where it's him as Activision shooting Vicarious Visions and then being like, who's gonna make a new Tony Hawk game? It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's such a bummer. And another person on social media said to me that, and I agree with this, that like the Tony Hawk Activision relationship is like one of the most toxic relationships. It's like, he wants the games to prosper, obviously for money, but also just like let him do that. Let him take that IP and go out and find great people to make it, because there's been so many stumbles and then we finally got a win with 1 and 2, and I want that momentum to continue. But this is it, I guess, maybe. Like I said, hopefully I talk about this more in the future. Hopefully there's something. Isn't that funny though? Because it is like something where I'm like, Activision, god damn you, but like I couldn't help but just talk, like I couldn't just help but fill this video with love. There's so much good stuff about the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater franchise. For me, for gaming as a young age too. I'm sure some of you guys out there. So I definitely want to hear from you. What do you think? Do you think, a 3 and 4 was likely? I felt like it was going to happen. I was like, oh man, it's like a definite hook, line, and sinker. After I played 1 and 2, I remember reviewing it and being like, holy shit, this is it. We're off to the races again. And we're not. But let me know what you're thinking. Let me know your favorite Tony Hawk game. There's a lot to talk about. If there's enough interest, I would love to make a video breaking down my favorite Tony Hawk games or something like that. So let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're feeling about this stuff. And thank you for stopping by and clicking. This is news, and you could have clicked on any other news YouTube guy's face, like, you clicked on mine. So thank you. I appreciate that. I actually brought back this channel. I've had this channel for years. I brought it back specifically to talk about the 1 and 2 remake when it was announced. So kind of funny how that works out. But hopefully this channel outlives the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater thing. Anyway, I'm Jake. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe because video games, pizza's on me.